Hello crafty friends! I posted this upcycled sweatshirt recently and you guys really wanted a tutorial for it, so I'm here to show you what I did. This is a technique that I've modified from traditional turned edge applique, which is used by quilters. Here is a list of the supplies I used in this video if you want to screenshot it. First I have to decide on a design. You can draw almost anything you want for this, it doesn't have to be a bug. But why not do a bug, you know? I made it harder on myself by drawing too many options, so I ended up posting this over on Instagram and had you guys vote for your favorite, and unsurprisingly, the winner was the most similar to the original Beetle. But that's fine. Go grab a boring blank sweatshirt from your closet, or if you don't have one, these are super thriftable. So how do we get our drawing onto our boring blank sweatshirt? To make a pattern, you're literally just gonna trace the shapes of your design. Anything that's a different color needs its own piece. I connected all of the legs into one big body shape, making sure that the body is a bit smaller than the shell. Make sure you outline each section on its own layer and arrange the pieces so nothing is overlapping. The canvas size I'm drawing on is 2550 by 3300 pixels. This is the same size as an 8.5 by 11 piece of printer paper. So now you can just print it and you have a pattern that's good enough for this. So I have my printed out pattern, and the first thing I'm going to do is transfer each of these shapes onto freezer paper. I'm going to draw on the matte side. You can see it's really easy to see through. Trace it just like that. Now we're going to cut it out. It's raining outside, so this is optimal cozy crafting time. Now I have my little piece. Here is the fabric color. I have two pieces of it here. 2 layers. I'm going to stick it shiny side down onto the fabric. Got my heated up iron here. I'm literally just going to go right over it for a few seconds. Boom, just like that. And you can see it's now stuck to the fabric. And I'm going to trace around the shape like this. Okay. And now just repeat that for all of your shapes. So I've got the main body piece, the shell, and the 2 mandibles. And they're all on doubled up pieces of fabric. Whoop! Peels right off, leaves no residue. So I'm going to go like this, and now I'm going to pin it. And do the same thing for all of them. By the way, this is all just quilter's cotton. Okay, and now I'm going to take all of these to the machine, and I'm going to sew around the entire shape. I am not going to leave a gap. I am going to backstitch at the start and the end. Done. Okay, so now I have my piece that has been sewn completely around, and you might be thinking, how are you going to turn this right side out then if you didn't leave a gap? Well, we're going to make our own gap. I'm going to cut it out with some pinking shears. You don't have to use pinking shears. You could totally just use regular scissors and then clip your edges, clip your curves, just like you normally would with anything else. But I find that pinking shears works really well for this. Okay, so now I can turn it, and I'm going to just make a gap in the back of the shape like this, separating the 2 pieces. You may make sure you only cut through one side. Gonna just boop, boop like that. See, just through one side. And now I'm gonna turn it. Just like this. Something that really helps pull your shape together is rolling the seam. Just pinch the seam between your fingers like this. Let it loosen up, let it settle into the stitch line. You can see rolled, unrolled. Okay, that's it. This is a turned edge applique. All of the raw edges are tucked inside there, so they're never gonna unravel. You're never gonna have issues with fraying. This is a solid piece that can take a washing machine. Now I'm just gonna repeat that for all of my other pieces and give them a good press. It is the next day now, and I really love how they turned out. I love the way turned edge applique looks. They're like little pillows with nothing in them. Now it's time to decorate this thing. So here's the sheet with the little detail pieces on it. We're not doing turned edge applique for that, but we're gonna do raw edge applique for the pieces that go on top. Honestly, you could do this for the whole thing, but I just think this looks so much cuter, and it's definitely more durable. But anyway, for raw edge applique, we're going to trace onto Heat and Bond Light, which is the sewable fusible webbing. On the back there's the glue side, We're gonna trace onto the papery side. Because my design is symmetrical, I don't really have to worry about direction. But if you're doing something like a letter or something that goes one way, make sure you flip the design so it's backwards, because you will be applying this flipped. Now we're just going to cut them all out. Okay, this is a little bit more delicate of a piece than maybe I'd recommend for this technique. I think some simpler, larger shapes would probably be better, but I've already committed, so. Our fabric colors. This piece is green and these are all black. I'm just gonna cut out a piece. We need to heat up our iron because we didn't already do that. Okay, and now we're just going to press. Let that sit for a few seconds. Perfect. So you can see they're stuck to the fabric now. Just gonna move that back and forth. I don't know, about 20 seconds. There is actually like step-by-step instructions on the package that this comes in. I buy it by the yard from Joann's because it's cheaper that way. And then that little, like plastic thing that comes with the yardage has instructions on it. Also the pre-packaged, like pre-cuts that you can get anywhere, like even Walmart has this stuff. Also has the instructions on it. Don't ask me what they say, but it was something along those lines. Okay, I've got my pieces. Now, suppose I didn't need to cut them out first. I could have applied it uncut out. Could have just, it's fine. I don't know how I forgot. I do this all the time. That's so funny. And now you can see the paper backing is just going to peel off like a sticker. Just like that. And I have glue on this side that you can now use to adhere your shape to the rest of your applique. A cool thing about the fusible web too is that it kind of holds the weave of the fabric together. So even with these really detailed edges, like a curved edge through a woven fabric is begging for fraying, but with the adhesive on the back, it kind of holds the weft and the warp in place and minimizes the amount of fraying, which is why I can get away with these really detailed cuts like this. Usually there's no way. Also, we're going to be going over with a satin stitch or a zigzag stitch. You want to use a stitch like that really protects the raw edges. So that way you can machine wash this without any problems. I've kind of got some jagged edges here. That is because of the way I did this. Again, just cut a square around the shape and then cut the fabric and the paper at the same time. That's so much smarter. Still don't know why I didn't do that. It's fine. You probably won't get such a jagged edge because you're not following along the edge of a paper, but that's going to be covered with my stitching, so I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Okay, yay, fun part. We are going to iron these pieces down. Got my iron here. And we're going to do basically the exact same thing. Just press it. Okay, she's on there. Now, the point of this, by the way, is to hold these pieces exactly in place while you sew around them, even with a woven fabric. It's brilliant. But just like, there's so many brands. Wonder Under is like the same thing. You just want a sewable, fusible web. Okay, yay. Got my little Beetle body, the head, mandibles, boop. Yay! I mean, that looks just like the drawing. So you can imagine almost anything you can draw, you can now have in real life. I think I landed on doing a 0.4 stitch length and a 3 stitch width. Now I'm just going to go over all of the edges of the green. I am going for kind of like a textured, sketchy look, so it doesn't need to be perfect. She's done. Is it perfect? No. Do I care? Also no. All right, I've got black threaded now, so we can go around the black pieces on the shell as well as the star, and I'm also going to attach the little mandibles. That's good enough for me. It needs more texture, so I'm gonna add more spots. Yeah, cute. Okay, I think it all needs to come up a little bit. And the body needs to be closer to the head. Okay, this sweatshirt has a lot of stretch. Trying to not like pull the sweater underneath too much. That is good enough. Alright everybody, this was my chaotic way to applique. I hope you learned something new that you can use for your own crafting adventures. I will be back soon with more sewing and DIY videos. Happy crafting!